Alright, we're digging into her a little deeper here. Pull timing cover off. She was just pissing an antifreeze out of that hole, so I imagine that goes into a water jacket. So when reassembling, make sure your guy puts some pipe dope or something on there to seal it up. Never been a fan of bolt threads with sealing anything. It's just a complete flawed idea, but we'll make her work. But I'm very, very sure that goes into a water jacket. So the whole point of running a Magnum block is to penny pinch to run roller lifters, because everyone's having problems with flat tappet cams because they don't buy Howards. So we're going to run a Howard's hydraulic roller in this puppy, but we're going to reuse the Black Widow lifter holder. It's in these motors, just like a 302 high output has, Spider. And yeah, we're going to reuse the lifters. So the lifters were a son of a bitch to get out, and we're going to reuse them so a guy doesn't want to be going you know, full bull honk on them. So what I did, I left one in to show you. I sprayed all kinds of lube. They would not come out. You could not get them out without, you know, causing a lot of issues, like destroying them more or less. So what I did is I went right to the good stuff. I went and grabbed a can of Easy Off oven cleaner, and I soaked everything down, and I soaked this part of the lifter, because what happens, this cam is low lift, so it doesn't push the lifter up into the bore very far. So what happens is oil residue, you can't see it anymore because I pulled this lifter out, it builds up around here, and you'll get it up, but as soon as that residue hits the bore, she ain't coming out. So soak them real good with Easy Off, let it sit, and then take your flat blade and pry it up like that. You'll get it about that far, and then she's going to jam on you. Then what I do is I put a pair of vice grips like that. Then take your flat blade and put it on the lifter bore and start lifting it up like so until it gets tight again, and your vice grips are going to start to slip. Then slowly rock it like this back and forth and keep pulling so you get the old prick out of there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover them with Easy Off, let them get cleaned up with that, let them sit for a bit in a mason jar, and then I'm going to put ATF in that same mason jar and put the lid on. And these puppies are going to sit till I go to reassemble the motor, and before reassembly I'll clean them up a bit. All the deposits should be gone, and I will soak them in some motor oil like Rotella T1 SAE 40. When it comes to conventional oil, I like straight weight oil. Reason being, we run these cars in the summer, and straight weight is just a better oil. You don't need a multi-grade. They sell it, I buy it at UFA here. I don't know if you guys have it down in the States, but I buy SAE 40 if I'm going to run conventional, and it's better than good. So another thing, when you go to reassemble, you can see that oiling hole. The oiling hole goes to the top, so that should point towards the sky. So make sure that goes to the top when you reassemble everything. But so far so good. I'm going to have to pick up some kitty litter or some floor dry, because I probably should have done that before I tore this whole bugger down. But yeah, that's the way she goes, eh? So I'm about to call her quits here. I'll probably get some floor dry and rip the oil pan off tomorrow. All the lifters are sitting there. Timing chain has lots of slack. But honestly, all timing chains have slack. As soon as you start running them, they get slack. Timing chains are a flawed idea. Timing belts are probably even worse, unless you change them all the time. And you know, some of the timing belts are not fun to change. So the best is a timing gear setup, a factory timing gear setup like a 306 has, as long as they're steel gears. Fiber gears are shit. As for the ones that use the wishbone, I think most of them are made in China, and they're not the best quality. Some guys like them because they buy the noisy ones and they sound like a supercharger, but that's all gimmicks and bullshit. One thing I've been told, if you're degreeing a cam and you use the cheap timing gears with the wishbone, they're usually way off, and it's not the cam manufacturer's fault. It's the Chinese made timing gears he bought. So we're going to use a true roller timing chain, closed or whatever you say it. I don't know how you say it, but that's the one we're going to go with. I think they're a very good timing chain, and they've been around forever, and that's what we'll use, but it will still stretch over time. But for what this thing's going to see, it will be fine. So that's what we're going to run. But I have a feeling that the bottom end is going to look awesome in this motor. All the cam lobes, there is no you can't see it now. So on the cam lobe, there is virtually nowhere. There is nowhere. Like, you can't feel nothing. Before I sprayed all the Easy Off on, there was ridges of oil residue on the outside of each lobe. That's just because the roller does not ride there, and it builds up over time, as you can see in some of these ones. But Easy Off takes, it's the best shit there is. Like, if you don't use it, give your head a shake, because everyone should have cans and cans and cans of it in their garage. You don't want to get that stuff in your eyes, and you probably don't want to get it on your skin. But if you got dream makers like me, it doesn't even bother me. It'll melt the rubber off my screwdriver handle, but it doesn't do nothing to these hands. So anyhow, yeah, looking good here. So pretty happy. I guess even a blind squirrel gets a nut once in a while. All right, have a good one. Till next time, eh?